Hey, this is Jeff, live from the front pew, and welcome to another beautiful morning here in Forney, Texas. And this is a interesting way to start the day in the gospel today and in the readings. The first thing that we notice is that we're talking with St. Paul, and he's talking about Abraham. Abraham, the man who took on the kings and fought the biggest, baddest kings. And then what did he do after that? He gave to one king, the king of Melchizedek, after the blessing, a tenth of everything that he owned. So where is this guy Melchizedek? Where does he come from? Well, we don't really know, but we know that this much. We know that it could be the son of Noah, who was Shem, who did the right thing. But we don't know for sure. We know that he is a man that Jesus comes in the stead of later, in the order of him. So, and we know that he's a righteous man, and we know that that he does show us how to be priest. And I think that's really the main thing that we need to chew on today, is that Jesus, when he gives us his Spirit, he wants a priestly people. Now, what I'm going to say today is not going to be something that's going to go and resonate in your ears as something that's cultural, because it's not. And the idea of being a priest, we would think that would be that the idea of being a female would be a priestess, but that's not the order in which God looks at things. He wants a priestly people, but he realizes that we're in complementary, as far as our genders, in complementary relationship with one another. We complement each other. We're not equal. We complement each other. And that's a countercultural message that we need to chew upon, that is talked about in this gospel, as well as the readings. That we are complementary also in our relationship to God. When we give him, as the gospel says, we give him what we have to eat, and he multiplies it. There's a sense of trust there. But he wants a priestly people. So what do priests do? Well, priests pray. Priests sacrifice. And priests are very, very contemplative, in that they know their God, and they get to know their God in a very, very personal way. Whether it's a priest that is sacrificing to a polytheistic type of realm of gods, or the one true God, the priest is very much so in that light, personal, sacrificial, and also, in a sense, very, how do you say, well, priestly, holy, right? So, to be the best version of yourself and have the Spirit really work through you, you have to realize that God does want you to be, as a man, a priest, and as a woman, those that support that priest in the household, because God's vision and plan for our lives is to have a domestic church. And the domestic church is in the same way that Jesus is in his relationship with his father and his mother, and all of those things fall into right relationship when you put the man as the head and the woman as the complementary person. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it once, God didn't put the man there because he was the strongest, he was the most fierce, he was the most dedicated. I just don't believe that, because there are so many women out there that are stronger, they're more organized, more efficient. So it's not that at all. I think it's just the opposite, and I think our culture has it just the opposite. It's not that men are better, it's that men are worse. In the sense of this, just like in the gospel, when Jesus asked them to bring him, if we are to bring ourselves as the fish, as the loaves, as we are, then he's going to make something great out of us. So who would you choose? Would you choose the person that has it all together, that doesn't need you? Or would you choose the person that really, really needs you? Well, obviously, you would pick the one that you could fill up. Let's look at it this way. Would you take the glass that's empty that you could fill up with your spirit, or would you take the glass that's already half full? Which one would be better to serve? Well, if you're serving your spirit, it'd be the one that's more empty. So the priestly quality in mankind is this humility. And it's not to say that men are better than women. They're not. They're just different. But the way that God has infinitely set it up is that if you put the man in charge and the woman to support him, then you see a right order of things that begins to take place, where you have the person that is most need of God going to God, and then becoming the distributor of the grace, the distributor of the goods. But in order for this to work, he has to be a priest. And in order to be a priest, he has to know, he has to sacrifice, love, and serve the person who made him, the person whom he has that relationship with. So it's very important, fathers and single men for that matter, that they have a special relationship where they can come to God in their humility when they look at themselves and they realize that they do not in any way measure up in any shape or form to the responsibilities that they've been given, and give that to God. And that's really what it's all about. That's our method for the madness. Our morsel for meditation is, are you a priest? Because if you want the Spirit to dwell in you, then you have to be a priestly people. You guys have a great day living life from the front pew, and we'll talk to you soon. God love you. Remember to share with this message with someone if they're going through something similar, and to help bring their life up that spiritual level notch, one more higher notch, by living life from the front pew.